Get ready with me while I teach you how to catch a cheater. Cheers. Overcommunication isn't love, it's surveillance. It's a red flag if they're constantly, I'm talking about constantly blowing up your phone throughout the day, asking what you're doing, where you are, how you're doing. Now asking, texting in the morning, in the afternoon, and then later on in the evening. Sure, but I'm talking about over texting, overcompensating. My ex used to text me constantly, and I thought, oh, it's because he really loves me, because he's so obsessed with me and just wants to know what I'm doing. No, it was because he was trying to find out if he had enough time to do whatever he wanted to do without getting caught and without running into me. But as a grown man, why do you have so much free time to text me? Why aren't you working? Now, if they're on a work trip or on any sort of trip and they're checking in and they're weirdly affectionate or checking in a bit too much while away, this is where your intuition is going to come into play, because I'm not saying all men that go on work trips or all men that go on trips are doing something shady, but that is where your intuition comes in. But why it's shady is because it is a guilt reflex. My ex had this, so I am an expert on speaking on the guilt reflex. They know what they're doing is wrong, kind of make sure that you aren't onto them by texting you a bunch and by telling you, oh my god, I just love you so much. I'll never forget, oh my goodness, my ex told me he loved me, and it was about 3, 4 a.m. and I woke up and I had this sick feeling in my stomach. I didn't even respond to him. I was just like, this is a little weird and I don't feel good about this. What he was doing that night is beyond me, but from what I know now, I know it probably wasn't good. Oh, this is another personal favorite. When he conveniently breaks up with you right before a work trip or a boys trip. I don't trust a man that says he can't take you with him on a work trip, because my current boyfriend goes on work trips all the time and always brings me along. If I don't have work or nothing to do, I'm always welcomed. My ex would break up with me right before trips or work trips, later to find out it was because he was doing some shady stuff. I was made to believe that he was just so stressed out and that he needed some time alone to clear his head, and that he couldn't handle being in a relationship. He was in his mid-30s. Let me make this very, very clear. If a man wants to be with you, he is going to move mountains. It does not matter to a man who truly wants to be with you. There's no, oh, I just don't think I'm ready for a relationship right now. My ex literally broke up with me right before going to Vegas for a work trip, and I later find out that he flies another girl and her dog there to meet him. Then he invites me last minute when she leaves because they got into a fight, and he did this to kind of clear his guilty conscience. He made the excuse of, oh, this could be your early birthday present, right? Because my birthday was in a couple of days. Now in my head I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I feel so relieved. I thought my boyfriend didn't want to be with me. And keep in mind, he was texting me the entire time, because what? It was a guilt reflex. The only reason that he flew me out to Vegas was to clear his guilty conscience. He figured, okay, well, I did something bad, but she'll never find out and she'll never suspect anything as long as I invite her out here and kind of make it up to her. Little does she know, I'm making up for something, for cheating. That trip was pretty wild, but I'll save that for another story time. Let me know down in the comments if you guys would love a story time on me finding out that I was cheated in Vegas. Within the same 24 hours, might I add. Yeah, I need a sip for that one. If you feel something's off and they try and gaslight you, it's because they're guilty and you're onto something. Cheaters are master emotional manipulators. I remember this one night I was getting ready to go out to dinner with a girlfriend of mine, and my ex at the time, he was living in Miami, and he was out to dinner with a bunch of his boys that were visiting from out of town. I remember getting viciously nauseous. Something in me just told me, check his Instagram following. So I do. He has 1 new follower and he is following 1 new person, and it is an OnlyFans girl. And my intuition coming into play, and I knew exactly what picture to click on. It was a picture of her being completely naked. And what do I see? Liked by said ex-boyfriend's name and others. But that was just one of the many times that my body alerted me. I've been on photo shoots before where I just started breaking out in hives. I'm talking my neck was bright red. I had patchy blotches all over my neck. And again, my intuition just told me, Isabella, check his Instagram. Instagram shouldn't be a problem. And I remember him telling me all the time, you're letting the social media stuff get to you, da 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 da. First of all, it's not a problem if you're not doing shady stuff. It's not a problem if you're not disrespecting your partner. When someone respects you and truly values you, they're not going to put themselves in a position to lose you, and they're not going to disrespect you. However, if someone does not value you and does not respect you and does not love you, they're going to do whatever the heck they want because they don't care. They don't truly care about you. They don't truly value you. And honestly, not being valued and not being respected, that's something that I'm not okay with. And that's not the kind of relationship that I want to be in. And I'm not the kind of person to not bring something to someone's attention because I'm afraid of how they might react. And every single time I brought it to his attention, he would say, oh, I'll just unfollow, and then did. So what more could I do? I can't continue to argue with him because he just unfollowed. He unliked pictures. And of course I would argue the fact, why are you even liking them in the first place? Why are you even following these kinds of women in the first place? You have a girlfriend and it is disrespectful. And you know what? When I see men in my likes and my comments and my DMs who I see are in relationships, it's disrespectful and it's really gross. And there have been times where men have messaged me, and guess what I did? If you have a girlfriend and she's on your page, I'm screenshotting and I'm sending it to her because that is disgusting and you're a joke. He'd also make me feel crazy or be over apologetic and then do something super sweet. It was a sick cycle. Let's talk about when physical clues just do not add up. I'm talking lip gloss, lashes, nails, and hair in places that don't make sense. Cheaters leave trails, or at least the people they're sleeping with do. And they love to lie about it and make you feel crazy for questioning why said piece of evidence is even there in the first place. I'll never forget, I found a bright blue acrylic nail on the floor of my ex-boyfriend's car in the passenger seat. Now, as a model, I can only have nude, light pink, maybe even a French manicure. And I model full time, so I'm never not in these 3 shades. I confront him, he says it was his cousins. But months later, after confronting the both of them, I'm scrolling through her Instagram and I see the same bright blue nails. And the gag is, she knew about me the entire time. A woman nearly close to her 40s, keep in mind, I'm in my early 20s at the time. I'm 22 years old. And I mention the age because you may think, oh, with age comes wisdom. No, I can assure you it does not. Or at least you'd think that age comes with morals, but no to that too. It just doesn't click for everyone. I understood how manipulative this man could be, but to be so desperate for the validation she was incapable of giving to herself, that she was more than okay with being the other woman, blows my mind. She saw my stuff in his apartment, told me, I saw your stuff in his shower, and she would even check up on my Instagram, which was truly sickening. You're literally keeping tabs on me, and the fact that she prides herself on being a girl's girl is truly comical. Granted, at the end of the day, nobody owes you anything, but to not even have an ounce of respect for yourself tells me all that I need to know. Last but certainly not least, they will make you think that they're the victim. They'll cry in your arms and they'll tell you that they want to change, that they love you so much and that they cannot lose you. Then they'll gaslight you and convince you to stay. And they'll be on their best behavior for a couple of days before reverting back to their old ways. They just need to get you comfortable enough to get you to put your guard back down. It's all part of a performance. They don't actually stop, and they won't actually stop. Like I said, they just need to get you to put your guard back down, to trust them again, so they can do this cycle all over again. And it's honestly impressive, because how are they not tired? You're already balding from all of the stress. This man would cry and cry. And he had me fooled. He had my mom fooled. He had my friends fooled. He had us all fooled. And I think when I got back together with him after the cheating, yes, I know, stupid. It was about 3 months that I didn't talk to him, and homeboy was on his best behavior for 3 months. I think the amount of time that they don't talk to you, or the amount of time you guys are broken up for, is the amount of time that they're going to be on their best behavior. So how do you actually catch a cheater? You trust your gut, always. You look for patterns, not just one-offs. You use social media smart, not obsessively. So if your partner is liking half-naked photos of women on Instagram, that is disrespectful. That's not even up for debate. Because no woman is going to be okay with seeing liked by my boyfriend and others, and oh, it's a picture of a naked girl. Okay, that's embarrassing. And not on some Catherine telling Austin, just don't embarrass me, and Austin thinking, oh, well, she said I could basically cheat on her, just don't embarrass her. Don't embarrass me means don't do it behind my back, in front of my back, in secret, or as loud as you possibly think you could. Check the small stuff. Check receipts, check the cars, check bags, and never ignore behavior that confuses you or scares you. If your intuition is telling you something's wrong, something is wrong. And it took me some time to kind of rewire my brain and rewire my thinking and convince myself that I could trust my intuition. And I would be happy to make a video on that if you guys want. Just let me know in the comments. I'll see you guys next time.